Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you saw this was the last video. We put paper into Jesmonite. We are carrying on in today's video, not only adding paper, but we are adding real leaves, botanicals. Let's go. You would have seen me flick through this paper pack in the last video, and honestly this is 180 GCM 12 by 12 from the range in the UK. Now there are other places available for paper packs, but definitely look out, get inspired by designs that you see around you. And oh my gosh, this leaf just screamed at me in the last video as I was filming, and I was flicking through the book and I was like in my head, oh my, stop it, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna use this paper 100%. The Monstera leaf is so on trend. I know it's very in at the moment, but it is such a beautiful leaf. I decided to not only do real pressed dried leaves in Jesmonite, but I'm gonna add some paper elements in there as well, really just to add interest to the video and interest to the final product. I set my heart on these two. So the Jesmonite, the Monstera leaf, and this other leaf. If you know what plant that other leaf is from, then please let me know in the comment section down below. While you're here, if you have not yet subscribed, please click that subscribe button. Okay, the trick to this, we do not want to move the mould. We want to keep the mould as steady as possible. Once we've placed our papers in and we've put some Jesmonite down, the trick is to not let that paper move. Did I fail? Of course I failed. Come on guys, this is me. What I did want to do though is just get some of these leaves off to the side, just to add some of that visual interest. So I just chopped a couple of leaves off to get a flat edge, and I've just placed them upside down in the mould. Now, you might also remember in the last video I said that your paper should be flattened. So if you're thinking of putting paper into Jesmonite, press it real good under a mountain of books. Now with the leaves, I actually did that with the leaves. When I got the leaves dried from one of you guys, you lovely, oh my gosh, so generous, sent me a whole bundle of leaves. But obviously they were naturally dried and they did start to curl up in my craft room. So last week I put all of my leaves under a mountain of books to get them as flat as possible in order to do this video. But of course using the paper was a last minute decision and I did not have time to flatten it, okay? This is just all good. Everything, you know, hindsight is a wonderful thing, but I'm already obsessed with the differences that this is going to produce. I know this is going to produce some gorgeous textures. Look at your designs, look at your paper packs and work out what is going to work for you. And then as soon as you've made a decision, flatten it all. Flatten it under your mountain of books, okay? Because, yeah, you'll see in the results why it's so important. There's no guarantee that the Jesmonite will not seep under your paper. And even if it does, I just genuinely, I do feel like it adds something. It adds texture, it adds that homemade feel, and that is what I particularly love about these trays. Okay, mixing up my first batch of Jesmonite. Now all of the Jesmonite that you see in this video is mixed to the 1.1 to 2.5 ratio, and I am actually adding some mica powders in again. So the mica powders worked so well for the last lot, I've decided to just use mica powders for now. They're giving me these beautiful, calming, muted shades, and they're working really well. This is my first mistake. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm holding the paper down with my finger just to keep it in place while I put the Jesmonite down on top. I was hoping that the weight of the Jesmonite would push the paper down and kind of keep it in place, hold it there, pin it down if you like, because I could see the edges of my paper just rising up a little bit, and I wanted the least possible seepage. Yeah, is that a sentence? I wanted to reduce the risk of that Jesmonite seeping down underneath the paper. So I did try to pour it straight on top of the paper, straight on top of the leaf, so that it would weight it down. That was my theory. But using my finger to hold the paper down in place didn't work too great. I ended up moving the paper and yeah, I don't know if I left my hand gestures in the video, but I was a little bit mad about it. A little bit, yeah, you see, just there. Oh gosh, why me? All the advice I give, and yet I don't do it myself. But having said that, oh, it's okay. It turned out okay. But I did move this Monstera leaf. It got a little bit too close to the other leaf. However, I didn't want to then move it back because that would guarantee seepage underneath. Anyway, I feel like I'm talking a lot in this video. I hope you can kind of understand the concept that I'm going for here. I decided to just change up my colours and go with these beautiful, calming, muted shades that would really complement the paper leaves and the real leaves. This is the next batch of Jesmonite. I'm going to use my squeezy bottle. My poor squeezy bottle has seen better days. But I'm going in with some white dots. Now, the paper that inspired this creation has some randomly placed abstract white dots. Now, you can see here, I piped them way too close together and they started to merge. It's not that Jesmonite self-levels, but as soon as it touches, it will join up, it will join forces, and you'll have a blob instead of individually placed dots. So I just wiped it off and then I went back again and spread my dots out just enough so that they wouldn't meet, they wouldn't join up. But yeah, I'm loving the white dots, and I actually wish, if you did watch the last video, and actually when you watch the next video, should I say, I wish I added white dots to that video as well, but I just might have to continue because again I'm looking for other words other than obsessed. I decided to add some lines, just some different points of interest. I didn't want it to be just green leaves. I didn't want that. I wanted some interesting things to look at in the tray, some patterns, designs and details. And of course it is abstract, so there's no rules here. That's the best thing about this, there are no rules here. If you have made it this far, we're nearly 7 minutes in, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It is free to join the team. We do have fun here and I hope you enjoy enough to do it. Also, do not forget to leave me a comment down below and hit the like button if you've enjoyed the video also. Let me know if you do Jesmonite. Let me know where you are watching from. So many questions I have. You can see here I'm really just I'm not putting too many rules. I'm not enforcing too many rules on myself. I hate rules. That's one thing. I like to just go with the flow, play it by eye. Eyeball it? That's the saying. Eyeball it. I like to eyeball it and just make sure that there's lots of different areas of interest within the tray. And also, I really wanted to try and get those leaves, those paper leaves, weighted down. You can already see they're lifting. So again, you have to kind of accept with this, I think. You have to accept that it is handmade with love and not perfection, like I mentioned in my last video. But oh my gosh, I am absolutely loving this. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit because I think real time is a lot to watch in real time. I'm just giving you step by step how I created these trays, and of course choose your own color schemes, choose your own, you know, inspiration, and yeah, let's get speedy. Now, the one question I get asked a lot is, how do I wash out my squeezy bottles or my things in general? I have a bucket that I keep in the bath. I fill with water, so when I'm doing Jesmonite, I can just run into the bathroom after I'm done and wash it straight away. I scrape as much Jesmonite as I can out of my bowls, out of my jugs, and then I go into the bathroom, put it in the bucket, wash them out in the bucket. I then leave that water sitting until the next day. Any Jesmonite will sink to the bottom and set at the bottom of the bucket, and then I pour the water away through a sieve. And I do the same with the squeezy bottles. The difference being you absolutely must wash your bottles immediately. Otherwise, that spout will block and they will no longer be usable. This bottle has been used, I want to say, about 10 times now, and it is serving me well. I'm going for a pink background. So we need to talk about red. The red, most pigments for Jesmonite pigments are really, really pigmented, really deep colours. So with the red, I am putting the tiniest, teeniest little dab of that red onto the whisk. I'm then mixing it in. Then I go in with another dab, and then I'm mixing it in. And I just basically continue this until I'm happy with the shade of pink that I've got. If I put all of that red from that lollipop stick that you saw, if I just put that all straight in, you have to believe me, it would just go straight to a dark pink, a pink that I might not be happy with. So the real trick is to take your time when you are adding. Of course, we don't have the luxury of time with Jesmonite because it can set like within 5 minutes. It's about a 5 to 8 minute work time, but you do have to act fast. Okay, I'm just showing you on camera, but the reality is you have to do it fast. You don't have the luxury of time. I was happy with my pink. It kind of matched the paper. I definitely want to try some with a darker pink as well, because I do think some of those tropical leaves definitely work well with a darker pink. But here we are, this is the pink that I got, and yeah, it was time to pour, so I really just couldn't fuss anymore about getting my pink right. I'm loving the way that beige has come out, the beige and champagne colour. Oh my gosh. So if you don't have Jesmonite pigments, you can do all of this with mica powder. And yeah, I think for the white, you would probably it'd be easier to just use the natural Jesmonite, so don't worry too much about getting a white mica. Yeah, obsessed. Utterly obsessed. I'm hoping by the time this video comes out, you have left me some alternative vocabulary, because my vocabulary is very, very, well, it's 2 words, isn't it? Obsessed, in love. Okay, this is 30 minutes later. This is demold, and I love the results. I'm so happy with these results. Yes, we have seepage, a lot of seepage. You remember I moved some of these paper leaves. Rookie error, okay, I'm still very new to Jesmonite and paper, but oh gosh, flattening that leaf made such a difference. Even though you can see some seepage on that leaf, the real leaf, trust me, that's such an improvement on my trial, on my test run. But the paper, yeah, a lot of seepage over the paper. But you can definitely see on the paper where I put those blobs down first to try and pin it down worked. So there's absolutely no seepage over those areas, and they've got the most beautiful edges and lines. And this one, ooh, what? That large green paper leaf, look at the edges. It's almost perfect, almost. So imagine if I had actually flattened these papers before using them. I think the results would have been even better. Even the real leaf, see the real leaf? Oh gosh, where I put that blob of Jesmonite, it automatically pinned it down, just like it did here on the paper one. And then as we come around, then it starts to seep under, because that's when I poured the main body of the tray. So there's definitely lessons learned here, but see the blob on the real leaf? Wow, worked amazing, pinned it down beautifully. Yeah, it's definitely something to try again, whether I pin down everything with blobs or whether I carry on with the abstract. But I just find these so calming, so beautiful, and just to look at, even to touch and feel. The textures are all, what's the word? Wibbly wobbly. Wibbly wobbly. Compress, compress, compress. Okay, number 1 tip here. If you're trying this, do not put them in if they have not been pressed. They need to be pressed. Honestly, that is the biggest piece of advice I can give. If you're going to try this yourselves at home, hope you do. Definitely tag me on Instagram or TikTok, Facebook, wherever you are. Tag me in your creations. I would love to see them. And if you've stayed this long, do consider hitting that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. And of course, hit that like, and do not forget to comment down below. I'm currently 8 days behind on replying to comments. Honestly, I say every week, I'm not going to do this again. I'm going to keep on top of it, but I never do. Anyway, I hope you've loved this as much as I have. Cannot wait to do more. Cannot wait. Oh my gosh, just breathe, Claire. As I said at the end of the last video, I'm going to go and grab another cup of tea now. These voiceovers definitely make me want my tea. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you massively, and I will see you all, oh my gosh, on Saturday's video. the ultimate paper inspired creation. Yeah, I'm not gonna say obsessed again, but I'm obsessed. See you then. Bye.